Hi everyone, I'm Valerio Mosca from the SAS Global Practice for Fraud and Security Intelligence for Government, and thank you very much for joining us today. Today I will present a possible application of Visual Investigator and the broad SAS Viya platform in the field of customs, fraud, security, and intelligence. The technological and methodological approach of the SAS solution for fraud, security, and intelligence on customs is exactly the same as other industries and use cases like banking, insurance, or tax fraud. So this session will be extremely interesting also for people working on other industry. In this session, we will quickly discuss the main challenges for customs and border authorities. Then we will quickly cover some of the key technological aspects of our solution and methodology. And then we will finish with an end-to-end visual investigator and Viya demo. So basically, when it comes to checking travelers and cargo, authorities face a big dilemma because the public security and safety need to be balanced against convenience and cost. These include both the cost of disruption and the economic cost of delay. So the idea of the solution is to improve efficiency through analytics, but not just via making the maths, but also reducing operational cost, improving performances, and increasing security. Customs and border security is a very broad topic. At the end of the day, the final purpose of the custom and border solution is to safeguard and manage air, land, and maritime borders. From a technical perspective, to keep it short for the benefit of time, the final goal of the solution is to put in place a technology-driven automated risk management approach that is flexible, measurable, and automated. Of course, based on the sophistication of the agency we're dealing with, a multi-phase approach is strongly recommended. The core principle behind the solution is basically to merge all the possible information available and risk assess any transaction and route as much container as possible in the green channel. In the green channel, we mean that no additional checks are required, and very few high risk cases instead should be rerouted to the red channel for further inspection. Despite the short time slot, just wanted to quickly highlight the solution architecture of the custom solution that is conceptually is exactly the same of other industry. And on the left side, you see all the possible data source that can be ingested in batch in real time. And then you have all the data management aspects, so data ingestion, data cleaning, data validation, entity resolution, network generation, scoring, then scoring, alerting, and visualization. From an analytical perspective, the two key elements I wanted to highlight before the demo is the concept of entity resolution and network generation, as well as the hybrid scoring as well. So, with regards of entity resolution, basically are advanced analytical techniques that are aimed to uniquely identify an entities across all data sources, and basically it involves the combination of data points needed to uniquely identify an entity, in this case a person, and then link them together. So in this case, we're going to cherry pick all the single elements, data elements that we believe are enough to uniquely identify a person, to aggregate them on a single view, and then put them in a context on a broader, larger network visualization. The other key aspect I wanted to highlight is the hybrid scoring that instead applies different analytical techniques to detect fraud and is performed after the entity resolution and network generation process is completed. As a few examples, we can apply database search, so matching entities with previously known fraudster. Then we have automated business rule that basically aim to reproduce the expertise of the investigator, and that they come out in the form of expert rule generally. Then we have the anomalies detection that they are basically aimed to identify unknown patterns. So with the automated business rule, we are trying to replicate the business expertise, and we detect fraud that we already know. Anomalies detection instead is aimed to find new fraud case and patterns. Then we have predictive modeling and machine learning. Here we can apply supervised, semi-supervised, or unsupervised models depending on the information available within the data and for the specific use case. And then is it also possible to apply advanced text mining capabilities to help in understanding information and detecting suspicious patterns. And last but not least, of course, these rules can also be can be applied from a social network analysis perspective. So rather than assess just an event itself on an entity itself, we also take in consideration where is this entity or this event within a larger picture represented by social network analysis. We are now moving to the actual Visual Investigator demo. In this first part of the demo, we will discover some of the most basic and essential features of Visual Investigator. Here you can see the VI user interface that, among other features, allow also to search all possible information in a very user-friendly way. For this specific case, as you can see, on the left side, we are talking about over 600,000 containers containing several millions of items, and they are all linked together with other specific entities like importer, exporter, and officers. As you can see, you can also search for a specific piece of information, in this case, a specific goods, and here you can see a seamless integration with an external portal. What is interesting here is that for this specific product, some important anti-dumping duty are expected for import from China in the European Union. The second part of the demo, the next part of the demo is about alert investigation. So alert generation is basically the process of finding a condition of interest, let's say via our hybrid analytics approach, and raise then the attention of a human for a deeper analysis. We will now investigate an alert coming from the C monitoring queue. As soon as you click on an alert, you can get a summary of the condition or rules that triggered that alert. We can go deeper and better understand what are the detection criteria active on this specific case. So as you can see, we have a consignment rerouted to green in a realistic short time. This is an expert rule. We have a match on a watch list. We have some machine learning algorithms recommending a physical inspection. We have a couple of the outlier detection alert in place, and also a social network queue rule that is basically analyzing officers' behavior and relation with other entities. We can then cross-check all the possible information related to this specific container, as you can see here, including taxes and any other interesting information we have in our system. And we can also analyze the key actor involved in the process and deeply understand the relation among various entities to confirm the suspiciousness of the record and take some action. So in this case, we have a number of expert rule, anomalies detection that recommend us to make a physical inspection. We have other data integrated to assess the exporter location, and also here in the network view we can spot some other interesting suspicious pattern. We can also take a picture of the situation as is now and save it in the form of a report before to close the investigation and send out a feedback. In the next part of the demo, we will try to discover other visualization capabilities embedded within the platform, focusing on logging, audit, and security monitoring. So these are operational dashboards specifically designed for investigation manager interested in understanding investigator behavior. And then we will focus on custom specific key performance indicator. So here, with regards of audit and security monitoring, you can see all the various users, when they accessed the platform, for how long. Here is real data retrieved from the backend of Visual Investigator. So my user is mainly user, VI user, SAS demo, and things like that. But this is again also in this case real data. And you can also see, for example, which are the key activities performed by by each investigator. You can aggregate them all or split them by user name. As I mentioned, also we have some other specific industry-specific dashboard that I will quickly show here. So here we can see which are the top exporter for a specific period, the number of fees by week, and all the other fancy things we can do with Visual Investigator and Visual Analytics combined together, including key performance indicator, examiner on duty, apparizer, best performing vessel, best performing exporter and importer, and we can also make prediction about the duty expected for the coming weeks. In the next part of the demo, instead, I will show you one of the rule engine embedded in the solution, specifically Scenario Administrator, and then also some other configuration capabilities included, including also the development of the user interface and the configuration of workflow. Specifically, we will see how we developed and deployed some of the rules we encountered in the investigation part of the demo before. So here you can see that for any single rule included in our C scorecard is a very simple tool. You can drag and drop variables, should change the threshold, change a parameter, define a new data field. Then you can also test the rule to see how many matches you have, and then you can combine all these rules together and define a threshold above that if the record goes above that one will generate an alert. And if you click, really you can also test the scorecard to see how many alerts we do expect, and then just deploy it. Everything fully integrated within the solution. With regards instead of the workflow manager and decisioning and the configuration in general of the user interface of the solution, here you can see we are now going in the back end on the Visual Investigator manager part. And here you can see we have all the entity, our importer, exporter, and we have all the pages we've seen before. So you can click in any of these pages and change the look and feel via simply just drag and dropping data points. So it's incredibly user friendly and it is allowed to do quick development. Again, also here there is the possibility to put in place workflow of any complexity. Here is a very simple case, just to make sure we can fit any business process. We are now approaching the last part of the demo, where I will quickly show you some of the data management capabilities embedded in the solution, as well as some advanced model exploration and machine learning capabilities. Specifically, in this demo, we will merge some of the GORG data together with additional features calculated somewhere else, and we will try to assess if there is any strong information value within the data. Of course, no need to mention that even in the Viya, within the Viya platform, we will still be able to write our loved base SAS code, but there are also more user-friendly drag and drop tool for data management for users that are a bit less techy but still want to be able to drive their own data strategy. So here in this case, as you can see, I'm basically getting some of the core information extracted directly from the consignment data, and I'm combining them together with other features I calculated somewhere else. And I'm also doing some simple data transformation. So on the left side you see all the possible transformation, and you can drag and drop them and select different table. In this case, I'm removing a variable, I'm trimming white space, and then I'm joining to table by a specific variable, and also change the format of a column. So now we join a two table, and now we move to the model exploration and machine learning component. So here, as you can see, there are different analytical approach that we can try to visualize here using the data we just prepared. So you can see we have configuration. The solution provide configuration out of the box, like a sort of standard default configuration. That could be a good starting point to see if there is room for using predictive models, or instead if we should maybe rely more on unsupervised model. And here you can see quickly, I'm not gonna go in any detail here, but we have, different kind of analytical approach, and different visualization techniques to fully understand and appreciate the value of different analytical techniques. So, I think I did cover all the topics I wanted to show you today. Keep in mind that what I showed is a prototype I built with real data, data that has now been delocalized and anonymized for demonstration purposes. So any resemblance to actual events, place, people, if present, and I don't think so, is entirely coincidental. I also understand that is a lot of stuff to get covered in such a short meeting, and I'm sure you may have some question in your mind. So that's why I wanted to have at least 5-10 minutes for question and answer, providing you also the possibility to perform actions on the actual server where I built the prototype. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope I improved your appetite of solving the most complex data and security issue, leveraging our broad end-to-end detection and investigation platform. Thank you very much.